You know, one thing we discuss here is a lot of stories out of New York. As being a Staten Islander, and we live in the forgotten borough, and we're always stabbed in the back to the situation because there's a lot going on, and we've been fighting here to succeed from New York. Because most of these bills that are tailored, a perfect example is the congestion bill. That's gonna cause a lot more pollution in Staten Island than it is where they want to remove the pollution.
Okay, so now what is Staten Island going to do? Because I'm getting tweets from people like El Arena, we pay for so much. Yep. We pay for red light speed cameras. We pay for the tolls on the bridges. We got limited ferry service. What else is Staten Island going to do?
Well, so
stop this?
Our borough president said he's also going to launch a lawsuit. Hopefully other executives in our area will do the same. What I'm trying to do is a legislative angle. I was able to get it past the House Appropriations Committee. I think we'll get it past the House as well. And we got to see what the Senate will do. But what we're trying to do is stop any federal funding from being used by Federal Highway Administration to be able to enter a tolling agreement with the MTA for this to proceed. This would stop it dead in its tracks. And remember, the name of the game here is we want to stop this thing, or at least we want to delay it until we could see if we get a new presidential administration in that will do what the Trump administration did, which was not allow this to move forward.
Speaking of a new administration, we have a statement from the MTA which says otherwise. The statement is from John J. McCarthy, the MTA Chief External Relations. It says the lawsuit is baseless. The 4,000-page environmental assessment performed by the MTA, New York State DOT, New York City DOT was supervised at every stage, specifically approved by the Biden administration. 4,000 pages, not good enough. How long does it need to be?
So an environmental impact statement would take years to truly assess what the impact will be. Of course, this was rubber stamped by the Biden administration at the begging of Governor Hochul and the MTA. But remember, this is Governor Hochul and the MTA that told us no tolls or fare increases in 2023 or 2024 after we injected federal funds, both infrastructure and COVID relief funds, into the MTA. What happened? They just raised tolls and fares. And now they're trying to jam this through. So the bottom line is they're trying to shortcut, they're trying to rubber stamp this thing and jam it through. We're going to say that they did not comply with federal National Environmental Policy Act laws that would require a full and thorough EIS, much more than what they had done with this assessment.
Have you been in contact?
So they said, well, we want to keep the air cleaner, but you're creating more pollution in other places. And that's stupid. And then, of course, there's the cannabis dispensary laws, and that has been atrocious. It's been, it hasn't really worked out that well, but still they're pushing it in the state of New York, and Staten Island is getting theirs right now. But the thing about it is, they are pushing out businesses to make room for this. There are other places that they could put this in, but yet they are going to be pushing out people from their businesses to make room for them. And this two particular places I'm very familiar with. They happen to be in my neighborhood, and they happen to be businesses that have been here for a long time. And we're going to read this off of CBS News. Some Staten Island residents angered by the decision to evict two beloved businesses in favor of a cannabis dispensary. Now understand, before we go any further, the area they want to put it in, understand this, okay, is a heavily family area. Supermarket is directly across the street, which is a key food. There are restaurants, bars. There's a great diner just up the block on there, King's Arms, which is really, they have some really, a little expensive, but really, really good food. And there's a couple other places in between in there. There are a lot of shops. There's a liquor store next to it. The liquor store and the dry cleaners, which is in the same mall section, are not being shut down. But the two stores in between, which is a bagel and deli and a gift store, are both being evicted. Two beloved businesses on Staten Island are being told by their landlord to leave by the end of next month to make way for a state-licensed cannabis dispensary the property was approved to have. CBS New York heard from the businesses and outraged residents on this past Monday. Forest Card and Gift and S&T Bagels have been neighbors in the small Forest Avenue strip mall for decades. Now those picking up their bagels, lottery, or coffee are signing petitions to keep them open. It's sad when we're going through this at the same time. It's pretty sad, says Shaman Framosa, the owner of S&T Bagel. It will be a heartbreaking for many of us, for sure, added Dinesh Patel, owner of Forest Card and Gift. Formosa has owned S&T Bagel since 2001, and Patel has owned Forest and Card Gift since 2004. They said they didn't expect to get an email from their landlord in mid-January telling them they have to leave by the end of March. Patel said he will lose $60,000 to $70,000 worth of inventory. We have all seasonal merchandise cards, so we can't sell them in 2 months, Patel said. Give us at least a year notice, Formosa said. The landlord, who wants to remain anonymous, told CBS New York the decision not to renew their leases was a business decision and not a personal one. Adding Gaslight Dispensary will be a vibrant establishment that will serve as a positive economic engine. No, bullshit. That's total bullshit. The State Office of Cannabis confirmed that the property was compliant to open a dispensary. The community board heard a presentation from the landlord of this facility and they voted against the application. However, the state regulated business and state approved that the license on a justice application, said Neil Anastasio, president of the Forest Regional Residents Civic Association. Residents are backing both businesses that have become part of their daily routine. I'm not against cannabis. I don't think they should have to close these 2 stores, said Curtis White of West Brighton. It's something the neighborhood is very unhappy about, said Claire Gutzman of Brighton. It's terrible that these mom and pop shops keep disappearing, said Frank Conina of Brighton. The community board will be holding a meeting next Tuesday to hear the concerns of the neighbors. And the thing about it is, you have to remember one thing. Out here in Staten Island, we do have a drug problem, especially cannabis. They're expecting to make money on Staten Island. They're not going to. Because cannabis out here is very readily available, okay, illegally. Even before the cannabis law went into effect, cannabis here on Staten Island was very heavy in certain neighborhoods. You could jump aboard an MTA bus or walk down a block, or you're sitting in your own home and you could smell it. I mean, there are times where people in our neighborhood who are just walking by and they're smoking, or they're sitting on the, in front of a store or something like that, and they smell, and it ends up permeating into people's homes. Which is wrong. It's totally wrong. For people who don't want to smoke this stuff, they're not given any rights. And for businesses to be shut down and to be just saying, well, the landlord says, well, I can make more money off of, the cannabis situation. Remember this, you're getting paid in cash and you still have to pay federal taxes. Think about that for a minute before that. Think about how hard it is probably you're going to have when you file your taxes and you tell the government that you're running, that in your property you have a cannabis dispensary. Think about that for a minute. I would rather have a card shop there, a bagel place. Yeah, there's a lot of bagel places on there, but these are family-owned businesses. Same thing with the liquor store, same thing with the dry cleaners and every store around them. I mean, you have a bank next door on there. You have 2 banks on opposite ends on there. Like I said before, there's a supermarket. There are a lot of small restaurants on there. There are families that come out to do shopping. No, we're coming up in March, St. Patty's Day. We have a St. Patty's Day parade here in Staten Island in that block area with families. You know, nothing like what the way the city it looks like in the city's parade. This is more of a family parade that happens on Staten Island, and many other events that happen in the Forest Avenue section of Staten Island. So you're going to throw a cannabis thing on there and remove a card shop and a bagel place. So tell me in the comments below, what are your thoughts about this? Of this horrendous thing that they're doing. And they're not even giving them a year. They're giving them until March, and they only just gave them the eviction in mid-January. You know, this is not like a regular apartment eviction, which is, you know, you give a 30, 60, 90, depending on the landlord. You know, a business, especially like a card shop specifically, has seasonal goods. They have to sell through their season. This particular little shop has already bought ahead. He's bought his Valentine's stuff. He's bought his St. Patrick's stuff. You know, he's bought his Easter stuff. He has to get rid of his Easter stuff before he shuts down. And that's not going to happen. He's going to end up losing money. And the same thing with the bagel shop. The bagel shop is going to lose money because they're going to have to find a new place to move to. So comment, like, share this video, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos here on Madman with the Show, on CutieCast TV. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for watching, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe as this helps the reach of this channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help support this channel as new internet laws around the world will diminish our reach and affect our sponsors. If you choose to help, there are two ways listed in the description below. The first link will lead you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will lead you to our gear shop where you can buy shirts, mugs, and other gear. Discounts will be listed on the site. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.